So today I've got just a product review for you with a few products that were provided from P.I.T tools. And so we'll look at this Master Box tool cabinet and then also get into some sprue nippers from them and see how they compare to the competition. So this one I thought would be kind of an interesting thing to show you guys into like the hobby sphere. Now, we don't exactly use a lot of the tools that are in here, but I wanted to show you how this can be used for like our purposes. So it comes with these little drawers that come out, and if you want to, you can actually just take out the foam piece and use these tools for some other items. And then you got the drawer if you want to, put some of your hobby stuff in here. So I thought that was kind of cool to be able to have that. Drawers work pretty well. And when it comes to the tools, they're all a little bit smaller, but they're pretty good quality. I mean, not anything that's high name brand, but I haven't had any complaints with what I've used so far, with just a few things around the house. So you get into these, just some rubber feet for it, and then you get into some bits here, which then feed into this ratcheting bit. So you've got that, and then some adapters and a few basic stuff you might need to use here and there. And some just basic bits, star, Phillips flat, all those few Allen pieces you might use, a few basic sockets and a smaller socket set. Here you get into some drill bits. And the last drawer, you get into a few extra blades. You got the tape measure, and then this is going to be more like a major box cutter kind of style, but it's a pretty cool switchblade. And then there's a few things that can be changed in here where you've got a bit if you needed to. You could also use this as a screwdriver, so that was pretty nifty. So far, the only complaint that I have about the system is if you look at the drawers, they don't quite come out all the way, so getting to some of the stuff is a little tricky. But yeah, so there is that. So that can be pretty cool. Addition to the hobby, store all your different tools in there, sprue cutters and all that. If you don't want to use the regular tools or put them in a regular toolbox, take all these out and then put all your different paint brushes or whatever you have in there. So I thought that was pretty nifty addition. All right, so next up I've got a few of their nippers. So they've got the entry model, more basic, and then you get into the next end model, and then you get into their high-end version. So the pricing on these from Amazon, $17, $32, $44, so pretty comparable to some of the other ones that are in the market that are maybe not the most notorious name brand, like getting into a Tamiya or getting into a God Hand. So let's put these through the torture test, but first actually let's show you just a few basics. So you got your packaging, pretty standard, with some instructions of some things that you shouldn't be doing, but we're gonna do anyway. So I wanna see how resilient they might be. So the basic one, a little bit more rough, you can see with like the actually tooling. So this one's a little bit more rough with the tooling that you can see. You get into just kind of a dipped rubber handle, but probably still does the job fine. So the next step up, so you can tell that the tooling that's done on it is better quality, and you get into whatever's going on here. You also have the over travel stop, where this one doesn't have that here. So you can set that in, but the actual jaws should look a little bit more sharp, better grip. So that's what you get into the $32 one. Now this, of course, packaging is a little different, but in addition, very different design. So I'm curious to see if this, you know, just looks different or it actually performs completely different. But the integrated to the design, you get into your over travel stop with just this piece in here. So that works out pretty well. Feels pretty good in the hand. It's not heavy. So let's take a look and see how well these perform. So we got a little bit of a delicate piece, you could say. Let's take the cheap one. Okay, cuts it off pretty well. Not too much with the marks, you know. Okay, so far does the job. Now, curious, if we cut through the sprue, what's it going to be like? Is we going to get a big click? That's, you know, some resistance that's happening, or is it a smooth cut? Okay, so definitely a kind of, you could hear the chomp on there, and you could see a little bit more resistance that's happening where you have the stress to the plastic. So not bad. Definitely seen a lot worse than this, and worse that cost twice what this cost. So there is that. It's not bad. Let's jump to the next. And I know a few people are going to be, oh, why are you cutting so close to it? Yeah, I know. Not exactly the proper way, but I want to see how clean it is. Alright, so not bad cut. A little bit better cut. So definitely can tell the sharpness is a little bit better there. And then let's see what happens when I chomp on a whole big thing here. So I do notice another thing. I notice this with the middle range and steady as well. If you look, the jaws open up only so much. You have this open up twice as much. It's kind of interesting. So for a lot of what we're doing, that's fine. It kind of forces you to not cut something too big in a way. So that can be good. Maybe that's why they do that. But cut through there. Not bad. So let's see what's the biggest I can chomp on in here. Alright, so it actually prevents me from doing the torture test. I guess I could do this here. Okay. Not like it's thick, but... Yeah. I think next what we'll do is we'll try these with the clear plastic and see how it likes those. Okay, now for the expensive ones. Okay, yeah, pretty smooth, and you can tell it's got a little bit better quality blade. And it's pretty smooth with how it's cutting. So there is a marked improvement when you go up to it. And then for whatever reason, it's also the middle range. So this is the higher end, and so you can see they're pretty big open, so I can chomp on a sprue. Oh, okay, yes. So much better than the basic one. So here, nice and smooth. Don't have much when it comes to distressing that's going on with the plastic, so that's a good sign. So there's that one. Okay, let's see how these do with clear. Alright, so this is probably the worst you could do with, you know, any of these nippers, because as you're probably aware, clear plastic is pretty stiff and rigid and hard, and yeah, so this is going to be, it tends to, with a lot of cutters, just snap. So if I click this, yeah, there you go. You can very much tell that it's a nap that's going on, and very rough to that. So not ideal for that. And if I wanted to cut these instrument panels, okay, did the job though. Don't have any like cracking or anything with it, so that's actually not bad. Let's go to the middle, and I don't think I can, yeah, that's not going to be able to chomp on those, so we can at least do this. Okay, definitely more of a snapping sound. Not the best. Do the instrument panel. And this is where it's going to be a little challenging because this is a wider gate than the thing opens. But it's a smooth cut. There isn't any damage to the piece. So that is a pass. Let's even do maybe a bigger. Let's chop this. Okay, cut it off with no damage, no cracking. So that's good. Now let's talk about the big one, the expensive. Okay, relatively expensive. Okay, it cut it pretty good, but you could kind of hear that where the plastic's kind of doing a snap. So not as good as some of the real high-end ones, but with it, I don't think you're gonna break any clear plastic. But let's see. Cut it real close. Okay, smooth cut for the most part. Big part. Oh, yep. So you could tell that was a little bit more smooth. Looks pretty good. Okay, so in the end, this shouldn't be a surprise, but as you go up in price, you get a better product. So the $17 is not bad for a little entry one, but doesn't quite cut as good as getting into here. So I think it's definitely worth the extra money. It's double the price, but cuts much better. And it'll probably last a lot longer because of the quality of the metals usually as well. And then this one, very curious how it would last long term and everything. Complete different design. It's kind of like the Citadel with theirs. So yeah, I imagine it would be pretty resilient. And since it's more of a basic design, that can be really good for longevity. So yeah. So once again, 17 bucks, 32 bucks, 44 bucks on Amazon. And I think you can't go wrong with either one of them. Maybe in the following video, we can even go in and I can just kind of take all of my sprue and just like torture test and just cut as many sprue as I can with these and see if I can break them practically. But they seem pretty solid, so might be just a lesson in futility. But let me know in the comments, and we can probably go into a torture test with these. But till the next video.